Tommy Shelby, strategic mastermind, ruthless businessman, gang leader, politician. The man who built an empire from nothing. But could you actually live like him? In this video, we're breaking down Tommy's lifestyle and finding out if it's humanly possible to do what he does. Could you handle his world? What mental strength would you need? How much money would it take? We'll look at what reality says about it and whether anyone could actually pull off being Tommy Shelby. Let's dive in. What does it take to run a criminal's legitimate businesses and stay alive in a world where everyone wants you dead? According to what we see in Peaky Blinders, Tommy barely sleeps. He's haunted by war memories and nightmares from his time as a tunneler in France. Some nights he doesn't sleep at all. Other nights, maybe a few hours. He uses whiskey and cigarettes to cope. His mornings start early. Business meetings at the office, dealing with family drama, managing the legitimate side of operations. Then there's the illegal stuff. Organizing deals, meeting with rival gangs, planning moves against enemies. Every conversation is a chess game. Every handshake could be a betrayal. Afternoons blend into evenings. More meetings, more scheming, more problems to solve. And when night falls, the real danger begins. That's when deals go down, when violence erupts, when Tommy has to be everywhere at once to keep his empire from crumbling. And somehow, between all of this, he's supposed to be a father, a husband, a brother. The man is juggling a dozen roles at once, and dropping any one of them could be fatal. Quick pause. If this kind of analysis interests you, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe for more. If you thought Tommy's schedule was intense, wait until you see what it costs to live like him. Let's break down the numbers. Tommy's wealth comes from bookmaking, illegal gambling, bars, and eventually legitimate businesses. A fan on Reddit calculated that by the 1920s, Tommy would be worth around £6.8 million in period money. That translates to roughly £450 million in today's currency. That's just his personal fortune. His properties alone are worth a fortune. The betting operations bring in thousands per week. The illegal gambling dens, the pubs, the clubs, all generating cash. Then there are the investments in London and America, the political connections that cost money to maintain, and the army of Peaky Blinders on his payroll. Arrow House, his massive estate, would cost millions. The cars, the tailored three-piece suits, the overcoats, the weapons, everything Tommy owns is top quality. He dresses like a man of power because appearance matters in his world. But here's the thing. Money doesn't just buy comfort for Tommy, it buys protection, influence, and survival. Without that fortune, he's just another street thug. With it, he's untouchable. Almost. Money and schedule aside, could you actually think like Tommy Shelby? This is where things get interesting. Tommy isn't just smart, he's a strategic genius. He thinks 5 moves ahead, always has a backup plan, and can read people like books. His planning is meticulous. He visualizes outcomes before they happen. When things go wrong, he doesn't panic. He adjusts. That level of strategic thinking takes serious mental discipline. Then there's the manipulation. Tommy knows exactly what people want and uses that against them. He's charming when he needs to be, terrifying when necessary. He controls conversations, reads body language, and spots weakness instantly. His intelligence is through the roof. Fans have typed him as an INTJ, the mastermind personality. He processes complex information quickly, sees patterns others miss, and makes calculated decisions under extreme pressure. But here's what makes Tommy truly different. He survived World War I as a tunneler. That job meant digging under enemy lines, listening through dirt walls for German soldiers, knowing any second could be your last. That experience didn't just teach him strategy, it broke something inside him and rebuilt it harder. Now we get to the dark part. Everything Tommy does comes at a massive psychological price. He suffers from severe PTSD from the war. The show calls it shell shock, but we recognize it now as post-traumatic stress disorder. Tommy has recurring nightmares about the tunnels. He hears digging behind his bedroom walls. Loud noises trigger him. He sees his own walls as those tunnel walls, imagining German soldiers about to break through. In one scene, he mistakes a hunter's rifle for enemy fire and hits the ground. His solution? Whiskey, opium, and just not sleeping. These aren't healthy coping mechanisms, they're survival tactics that slowly destroy him. The show makes it clear, Tommy is barely holding it together mentally. His family suffers too. His brothers Arthur and John both have their own war trauma. Arthur has violent outbursts he can't control. The entire Shelby family is running on trauma and adrenaline, using crime and violence as a way to feel something other than the war. Then there's the emotional detachment. Tommy struggles to connect with people. He prioritizes ambition over relationships. When he falls in love with Grace, she becomes his saving grace. When she dies, it nearly destroys him completely. By season 5, Tommy is suicidal, holding a gun to his own head. The show's creator admitted he intentionally keeps Tommy off the road to happiness. Just when things get better, they get worse. That's realistic for someone with Tommy's level of trauma, but it's also devastating to watch. So could someone actually be Tommy Shelby? Science says no way. The human body and mind have limits, and Tommy crosses pretty much all of them. Sleep deprivation alone would destroy your cognitive function. Tommy gets maybe 2 to 4 hours on a good night, often none. Without proper sleep, your decision-making suffers, your emotional regulation breaks down, and your physical health deteriorates. You can't think strategically when you're that exhausted. The constant stress would wreck your body. High cortisol levels over years lead to heart disease, weakened immune system, and digestive problems. Tommy lives in permanent fight or flight mode. That's not sustainable long term. The PTSD and untreated mental health issues compound everything. In the 1920s, there was no proper treatment for shell shock. Veterans were just expected to deal with it. Today, we know PTSD requires therapy, support, and often medication. Tommy has none of that. He's self-medicating with alcohol and drugs, which only makes things worse. The violence would take its toll too. Getting into physical fights regularly means concussions, broken bones, chronic pain. Your body breaks down faster when it's constantly under attack. And the psychological burden of all of that killing and manipulation, even the most hardened person would eventually crack under that weight. Tommy's moral ambiguity and willingness to hurt people might work in fiction, but in reality, that level of compartmentalization is extremely rare and usually indicates serious psychological damage. After breaking all this down, being Tommy Shelby in real life isn't just difficult, it's impossible. And it's clearly shown in this video. The schedule would exhaust you. The costs would bankrupt anyone without massive criminal income. The strategic thinking would require genius-level intelligence combined with specific war trauma, and the psychological damage would eventually consume you completely. Tommy Shelby as a character is really engaging and mind-blowing. He works as a character for the audience because he's a fascinating study in trauma, ambition, and survival. He's compelling to watch precisely because he's broken and dangerous, but he's not a role model. He's a cautionary tale for us about what happens when trauma, ambition, and violence collide. The show makes this clear through 6 seasons. Tommy isn't happy. He's not fulfilled. He's surviving, barely, through sheer force of will. His wealth can't buy peace. His power can't heal his wounds. His intelligence can't solve the fundamental problem. He's a man at war with himself. Could someone develop some of Tommy's better traits? Sure. Strategic thinking, discipline, confidence, these are learnable skills. But the full Tommy Shelby package? That requires sacrificing your mental health, your relationships, your peace of mind, and possibly your life. Fantasy might push beyond human limits, but understanding what's real makes the story even better. So what do you think? Could anyone realistically get close to Tommy's lifestyle? Or is that character best left on screen? Smash that like button, subscribe if you want more reality versus fiction breakdowns, and comment which character's lifestyle you want me to analyze next. Your video suggestion might be the next video.